After a missed cut at the Genesis Open, Tiger Woods found a little momentum in round one of the Honda Classic. Averaging only 5 fairways per round this season, he hit 2 more than that, and for the most part, when he missed the fairway, he ended up in the first cut. He also found more than half of the greens in regulation after posting his worst career performance in that category through 2 rounds as a professional at Riviera. His ball striking was much improved over what we saw in Pacific Palisades. And Tee to Green? He said he was very pleased, and the numbers help you understand why. It's his best statistical performance in an official tournament since the second round of the 2015 Wyndham Championship. A lot more numbers coming your way and highlights. Golf Central starts now.
Golf Central. Brought to you by TaylorMade.
And Justin Thomas continues to perform. Already a winner this season, he finds himself near the top of the leaderboard again. He made 6 birdies in his round of 67 on Thursday at the Honda Classic. You'll see a few of them soon here on the show. McIlroy had a chance to post a birdie and a round under par on his last hole, the par 5 18th, but he made a costly mistake. It would leave him making double bogey. He took the gamble and lost that bet. How did he react? Find out as we press on. PGA National is a beauty and a bear. The notorious bear trap. Yes, it will bite you. It is a fight to post 4 rounds under par. We say goodbye to the West Coast swing and all of its great memories, and hello to the sunshine state of Florida and all the memories to come. We saw plenty on day 1 in Palm Beach Gardens. Great shots, great moments, some struggles at times, and also some fantastic weather. Hello and welcome to Golf Central. I'm Kelly Tillman alongside PGA Tour winners Brandel Chambly and David Duval, the former #1 golfer in the world.
That's him.
Right to the action. Yes, it is him. You're still #1 in my heart, Brandel. And I think that's a valuable ranking. I'm just saying.
I'll take it.
Tiger Woods, 3rd official start of the season, tied for 23rd at Torrey. Missed the cut at Riviera, barely finding a green in regulation. He had 5 days to get something going and get back on track at the Honda Classic, and it looks like some hard work paid off.
Well, his first swing of the club went 346. He outdrove his playing companions by 70 and 40 yards, so he showed brawn off of the tee and touch around the green. That's a tough 4, a well-earned 4, to start his day.
Good par save. Woods now at 11 putting for birdie.
After a very well-placed approach shot just underneath the hole, just left on the safe side, some 20 feet. Buries the 20-footer to get his round going.
You know, it's really valuable to be #1 in my heart because it's not a very big place.
More compliments. Keep them coming.
13th hole.
I'll keep the compliments coming for Tiger Woods because he was looking pharmaceutical with his precision here. I mean, absolutely spot on. Found the fairway, gorgeous iron shot. And he would be 2 under par through 13 holes. And he was playing in sort of the worst of the wind, really.
Yeah, the 14th hole, just off the back of the green.
Just showing beautiful touch here. Out of the Bermuda rough, lobbing it right over the fringe, letting it trickle down next to the hole. He'd end up making his par after that pretty chip.
Stays at 2 under. Now another look at 15.
Yes, he did a nice iron shot at a very dangerous hole location. Just good, solid golf at this point. He was liking it the whole way, just knew it needed a little bit more oomph.
See, I thought the flip of the putter was really cool, but you drop it on the walk up, it kind of takes away some cool points. Now you can see just the upper half of his body.
Yeah, just short-sighted here on the 16th, out of the bunker, greenside bunker there. Really can't play it a whole lot better than he did. Still races some 8 feet by the hole, giving him a lengthy look for par. It's always fun to watch him stroke the putter, but that one wasn't too effective.
That from 8 feet, so he drops to 1 under par. On to the 17th, another meaty par 3.
And again, off the back of the green here, likely into the grain. These players would be walking in that direction. And you got to hit a really short chip hard. That's a touch of class.
Hanging in there under par. Not a lot of guys going deep today. Woods at the 18th. It is the par 5. This is 3rd.
Just a wedge in his hands going back into the breeze. Not particularly good approach shot there, leaving himself a good 30 or 40 feet back up the hill. He would 2-putt though and post 1 under on the front.
Yeah, so you can see there, you know, A lot of take and a little bit of give. 2 birdies to 1 bogey, and feeling pretty good after what happened at Riviera. Things seem to be back on track. He does call this area home. Probably good to be back on the familiar grasses he's been practicing on the last few years while not competing regularly on tour. So he makes the turn. We pick him up at the par 5 third.
He really only hit 3 wayward tee shots. One at the 12th, he was able to convert for par. And at the 3rd, he found the right bunker and had to lay up, and then found the greenside bunker. Tough bunker shot, David.
Just absolutely dead. He even said something to the effect of he nearly pulled it off. You can see if that ball flies maybe a foot further, it bounces out of that rough and trickles onto the green just like this bellied wedge did. But this one mistake there from the fairway short side of himself will leave himself this 4-footer for bogey. Couldn't manage to make that one make a pretty ugly double.
It's easy to do that on this golf course. Make a mistake on a hole, you try to avoid making that mistake right on top of it. So now he's 1 over. Woods at 4.
And he would say afterwards that his tee shot on 4 was one of the shots he was most proud of. Flighted it beautifully with a long iron to leave himself well enough back to where he'd have plenty of spin on it to this tuck pin. That is a great plan and great execution.
Bunkered again at the 6th.
And this is just a beautiful golf shot right here. Similar to the 16th, he's short-sided but didn't have the green running away from him. Manages to knock it up there to just a couple feet and he'd save his par.
Another solid up and down. Woods at 7.
And another chip that's dead into the grain. You can tell there how hard he hit that one. Wouldn't have been 20 some odd feet, maybe 22, 23 feet. And he had a lot of speed in that chip.
Woods at even par, putting for birdie at 9.
Trying to break 70. Just doesn't quite do it. Gets a little frisky with the first one, rolls it a good 4 feet by, but manages to rattle that one in.
Yeah, you referenced it there, David, trying to break 70. It would have been his first time breaking 70 in 7 rounds played in 2018. He was under par or at par each and every day at Torrey Pines, but it was a real struggle at Riviera, and today, well, he'll take it.
It felt solid today. You know, I mean, I was pleased with where I hit the golf ball, how I hit it, and if I did miss it, I missed in the correct spots. And, you know, I was able to leave myself, you know, relatively easy up and downs because I was in the correct spots. One bad hole today, and it's the way it goes. But I'm very pleased the way I was able to. Like I was telling you guys last week, I didn't miss the ball in the correct spots. The tee shot off of 4 was nice. After just making 7 there, and I was between 2 and 3 off that tee, 2 iron, 3 iron. And if I hit 2 iron, if I hit a normal one, I'm too close to the green. But I want to get down there where I have a 60 in my hand. And so I took something off that 2 iron, threw it up in the air, and that felt really good. I felt very comfortable today. I felt like I hit the ball really well. It was tough out there. I mean, I had to hit a lot of knockdown shots. I had to work the golf ball both ways and occasionally downwind, throw it straight up in the air. And I was able to do all that today, so that was very pleasing. We were talking out there today, it's going to be hard to make birdies unless you hit it close because the ball's not rolling very good on the greens. And so we were all kind of baffled at some of the things that happened on the greens out there. It feels great. It feels great to be here at home and see a lot of the people that I either play with or against over at Medalist and have at the restaurant, and they're all out here today following, and some of my kids' soccer parents were out here as well today, so it was a good day.
This is a man we hold to a very high standard, but when you listen to him talk, he does seem to have everything in perspective. Take a look at the improvement from tee to green. This is the standout stat, giving up nearly 2 shots to the field last week in 2 short rounds at Riviera. Picked up more than 2 shots today in round 1 of the Honda Classic, and he was pretty solid on approach as well, gaining nearly a shot and a half on the field. So we'll see if he can continue with this little bit of momentum that he has picked up in round 1 of the Honda Classic. I mentioned it, David, you know, you and I were talking earlier today about how, you know, we don't forget the year 2000 and all of those years right around it, those cushy years when he was dominating greens and regulation, dominating all the statistical categories, and in turn rewriting history books. He's a different man today, so we have a different expectation.
Well, there are some different expectations, and I think as a fan of golf, everybody wants to see him come back. But I just want to go to a couple of things he did today. A dramatic improvement over last week. at the Genesis Open. Hit the ball really considerably well, I think. This is a hard golf course to play. It's hard to hit a lot of fairways, hard to hit a lot of greens. But the disaster on the third hole came because he was confident enough to try a golf shot. Tried to kind of hold a 6-iron up against the breeze and get it to come down close to the hole. Ended up not quite pulling it off, makes a double. Very next hole, tries another golf shot, pulls it off, hits his wedge up there, makes a birdie. I think that says a lot about what he believes in his swing and his golf game right now, that he's out there under the gun in competition trying to hit great golf shots.
It was such a quick turnaround from last week. What really stood out to you as the difference maker?
Well, first of all, he did not look like the 544th ranked player in the world today. And you might argue, and he might agree, that he kind of looked like that early in the year. He looked like a player that might play himself onto the Ryder Cup team today. And the difference was not so much in his driving. I know we talk about that, but really post-2002, he was never a great driver of the golf ball. He was a good driver of the golf ball. He was a great iron player, the best maybe ever in the history of the game. And there was a huge difference between the way he was hitting his irons, at least through the first two events, and the way he used to hit his irons. And just take a look at some of them. At the Farmers, he didn't hit the ball well anywhere. Off the tee, coming into greens. This is the 13th hole with just a short iron in his hand, about 120 yards here. Short sides himself, puts himself in a bad spot, prime scoring opportunity. He used to own that distance. He was reigning supreme anytime he had a wedge in his hand. And again at Genesis, he did hit a nice drive here on the 9th. Hole location over on the right, this is Friday. And again, it's set up beautifully for him to hit sort of a check cut spinner in there off the slope. Even as firm as that green is, he missed it in the wrong spot, short-sided himself. I mean, that's just an F all the way around, and I know he would agree with that. And again, today, this is at the 18th. Now, this is a difficult shot, no question about it. He's trying to drive it into the wind, but he wouldn't have been happy with it today. But that was nowhere near as bad as those others. But just in general, if you take a look at the iron player that he used to be, say in 2007, when he was unquestionably the greatest player in the game of golf, and say the iron player that he'd been earlier this year. Just take a look at these numbers and how they vary, and you can see clearly from 50 to 125 yards, from 125 to 150, 150 to 175, all the way through the bag. He was extraordinary. Look at these differences. In particular, look at 125 to 150. In 2007, he averaged 21 feet from the hole. Now, he'd make about 20% of those. You only make about 1%, 2% tops from 37 feet. Same thing's true of 175 to 200. Same thing's true 150, 175. And look at the bottom. Fairway proximity. 2007, he was first. Through the first two rounds that he played, or two tournaments that he played this year, he was 190th. So just not putting himself in scoring opportunity. He was markedly better today. He wasn't the best in the field, but he was certainly better than he has been.
Yeah, well, Tiger Woods always seems to steal the show no matter where he goes. But this week, in the Pro-Am, little Tommy Morrissey, who plays golf better with one arm than most of us do with two, he stole the show by stealing Justin Thomas's golf club out of his back pocket. Pretty smooth move. Justin's like, give that back to me. Get out of here. And yeah, he knows he got one there. Oh, what a cute guy. Love his golf game, too. Now, today, Justin Thomas had the golf glove all the way through, and his wits about him as well. Pretty solid round of golf.
Yes, coming off a 9th place finish at the Genesis, his second top 10 of the year. Of course, one of those was a win. Beautiful shot. This gave him about 6 feet for birdie, which he converted.
163 yards out. He's at 1 under. Thomas after a bogey at 17. Here at the par 5 18th, bunkered.
Managed to get it greenside and 2, nearly holes out his eagle blast from the bunker. He knocked that in to go to 1 under par.
And at the first, on approach.
Fun trains to get on are birdie trains. And, well, this is a nice little move right here. Birdied 18. Put himself in a good spot off of the tee, which gave him a great angle to sort of this back left hole location. That's important, especially because the wind's coming so hard off the left. He'd make birdie there and at the second.
And here he is, the par 5 third, his third shot.
A little bit wayward, but manages to hit this pitch shot from some 40 yards back into the breeze, really close. He might make that down the hill and shoot 3 under.
What a star he has become just the last couple of years in professional golf. The PGA champion, playing well at PGA National, and talking to Steve Bukowski.
Thursday 67 is Justin's lowest score in 9 career rounds here in the Honda Classic. How would you grade the effort here in the opening day?
It was great. I played really solid, played really well. Had a couple more mistakes than I would have liked, but to go around this place and with 6 birdies on a day like today is definitely positive.
You talked yesterday how difficult this golf course is and what the wind can do and even add to the challenges. How does that mindset change throughout the course of the day when you see a morning and it's blowing right out of the gate?
Yeah, I was a little bummed to see that the weather showed a little bit more wind in the morning than the afternoon. That usually means for a tough day, but at the same time, it just means you have to be more patient. I mean, half the field's gonna have to play in the same conditions I'm playing in, and you don't know what's going to happen in the afternoon. But I just had to go out there and try to, stick to our game plan and hit as many fairways and greens as I could.
What's the most positive thing you take away from a day like this?
Just how well I played. I mean, my 3 bogeys were. My bogey on 8, my 17th hole wasn't that bad. My tee shot's 3 yards from the fairway, and then just catch a flyer, and then just kind of misjudge the chip. And then I hit a great shot on 17 that just somehow didn't. If it carries, another 2 or carries another yard, I have about a 15-footer for birdie, and end up making bogey. So, those 2 right there, I turned those around and saved 2 shots, and then it's a great day.
Great start, Justin. Appreciate it as always.
Thanks, Berkeley.
All right, time now for today's save, presented by Geico, and that goes to Daniel Berger at the 6th.
Wasn't just trying to save par here, which he would eventually do. He was trying to save a nice run. Like to go bogey-free at PGA National on a windy day.
And a good pair of britches.
And a good pair of britches. He did save the britches, wipe off a little lake water, go to work.
Leaves himself just to...
We get a giggle out of you there, David.
Oh.
Did you take your shoes off when you got in the water, or did you just leave
I
them
usually
on?
just left them on.
I left them on, too.
Gooey
they get them for free.
Doesn't seem appealing at all.
This is a Geico save of the day right there. How about that?
Heck of a par. An ooey gooey par.
Ooey gooey.
Yeah. 67 for him. Webb Simpson coming alive at the Honda Classic. Here he is at 9.
Webb Simpson, who, as well stated on the broadcast, hasn't played a lot of golf here. But he looks like this is home track. Beautiful shot there at the 9th, which he would convert.
All part of a round of 66. Here he is for birdie at 14.
Nice putt across the green here. Just over 20 feet. You see Billy Horschel giving it kind of the bump before it was even in the hole.
Well, those always feel good. Louis Oosthuizen, is he going to rise up this week?
A Louis Oosthuizen sighting. Watch this guy do pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Nice bunker shot. It's the first event he's played of the year.
I don't know. That's got nothing on the albatross. The double eagle.
You now call it an albatross. Oh, that's what I
I'll
was saying.
call it whatever you want. I don't want to fight.
I don't care either.
My heart's growing.
It's a 2 on a 5.
All right, it's a 2-way tie at the top. Alex Noren and Webb Simpson, both with rounds of 66. Just like Riviera, it's a bunch leaderboard. It was tough to go low in windy conditions, but Noren has been trending the last 3 seasons, let alone his last 3 tournaments on the PGA Tour. He did have that playoff loss to Jason Day at Torrey Pines, and it's been a pair of top 25s since then. So perhaps this will be his week. But no first-round leader or co-leader has gone on to win the Honda Classic at PGA National. Just saying, not being a pessimist, being a realist. Well, the list of champions at PGA National is stout. 2 of the more recent champs were out there fighting today. How did Ricky Fowler's title defense begin? We will tell you. And is Rory McIlroy finally gaining some momentum as he tunes up for another run at a career Grand Slam in Augusta? Yay, doubled 18. But what about the rest of the round? Highlights are coming.
Golf Central is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. GolfAdvisor.com. Ratings and reviews by golfers for golfers.